Welcome to Dasmore Wargaming. You've joined us for another episode of Behind the Brush, the show that we're doing where we try and, get to know our hobby community a little bit better and people that we like in the hobby community and doing good things and all that jazz. So it's an absolute pleasure to have Mr. Jordan from Vanguard Tactics on. Thank you for coming on, dude.
My pleasure.
And as always, I'm joined by my wonderful, wonderful co-host. He hates me saying this. Co-host, Mr. Dante Paints. He can't take a compliment, but we're going to do it anyway. Here we go. Well, yeah. Thanks for joining again. Anyway, it's I'm glad that you keep showing up.
Somebody's got to do it.
Wow. So Behind the Brush, it's a little series that we're doing. Obviously, we just try and get to know our hobby community a little bit better and just put a spotlight on certain people. Whether it's people, like big personalities in the hobby, to people that have just doing their little thing on their hobby journey, whether that's Instagram or on YouTube or just started out, or it doesn't really matter. It's just putting a spotlight on people that we like following and things like that is the general idea. So you are one of those people, Jordan. I don't know whether that's a good accolade to have. I don't know, but there we go.
I appreciate the thought, mate. I appreciate the thought.
Right, so we're going to get into some questions. It's question time now for Jordan.
Nice.
So I will start off, and I will ask the question: when and how did you get into the hobby?
Well, back in the day. No, it's not been that long, mate.
Basically,
back in today. No, it was actually my granddad that got me into the hobby. I must have been about like 10 or something, and basically he had, I don't know if you remember, but like the old lizard men with the old Bretonian set for fantasy. He had that set, and basically I remember going into the dining room and he had a fully built table and everything, and that was like my intro to it. And from then I was just hooked.
Wow.
And yeah, it literally ended up just rolling through the systems, going through game to 40k. Yeah. Still playing fantasy. Then I dabbled into like Star Wars Legion and stuff recently. But yeah, and then I met Jake back in the day. Yeah, we used to go to like our local Games Workshop shop, and that's how we met, basically playing at like the local clubs and stuff like that. And
nice.
Long time ago.
Yeah, nice. You haven't had it. There's been no breaks for you then from starting. So a lot of people have breaks. They sort of step away from it and come back.
I did for a while, for about 3-4 years. I went to uni and literally wasn't doing it during uni.
You hear that
stuff.
a lot. Uni is usually the reason.
Yeah, exactly. So that was like kind of my breaking point. But then I recently got back into it, and just started like getting more heavy into it on my second try in, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Nice one.
So, people may mostly know you from being editor, team member and a player for Vanguard Tactics. Can you tell us a bit more what Vanguard Tactics is and how it influences your approach to playing the game? Well,
you'll know this, Gareth, because you're actually on the academy now, aren't you? Basically, Vanguard Tactics, we're a company that we strive to keep people playing the game of Warhammer and enjoying the hobby as much as we can. So we just basically, it's a bunch of people that are striving to just empower people to keep playing the game and feel confident at the tabletop, enjoying it. We want as many people playing Warhammer as possible. We don't want any of the people going away feeling like it's not for them or they're not part of a community or anything like that. We just basically want positivity in the community as much as possible, right? And we do that through one of our biggest products, which is the Academy, which, as I said, Gareth's on now, which is like a massive, it's a community of people which are going through a course with over 170 lessons, and it's all driving on literally empowering you to feel more confident at the tabletop. It's not a case of we're teaching you you've got to play it this way, you have to take this unit to be the best. No, it's none of that. It's you literally play with what you've got, enjoy the game, enjoy Warhammer, and that's what we're all here for, right? It's literally just to enjoy it.
Yeah. Hopefully,
I think the bit to add before we move on to the next question about important this is, to the team, really. So obviously there was Beachhead down in Bournemouth at the weekend. Stephen Box came aware of a young lad, I think probably sort of 15, 16, Jord?
About 15.
He was playing, I think, his fifth game. His fifth game, let's say, didn't go so well. And I think that may have been in part to how the game was played. And basically, because he basically left the venue, Stephen Box turned around and said, right, what I want to do is that show that there's this community of people that do actually care about playing the game in a competitive but fair way. I will sponsor this person, this young lad. If he gets in contact with me, he gets his academy slot on Vanguard Tactics. And he's going to get a bit of personal coaching from Jake as well, I think.
He's getting, there's quite a few things. Like a lot of the team have been, they've been affected by this, and the fact that this is what we don't want to happen, right? We don't want people in the community, especially younger members that are just getting into it, to feel that they're gonna it's a negative environment or anything like that. And I think, I think we were all wanting to get in touch with this kid and make sure that he feels welcomed and wants to get back, keep coming to events and stuff. Because I think, I don't know if you guys will attest to this, but competitive Warhammer has got such a negative stereotype to it. There's a lot of this feels bad. There's a lot of I don't know if the words try hard or anything like that, right? But on the whole, it is genuinely an amazing experience, and you meet amazing people through the competitive scene. And unfortunately, this kid's had a 1 in a million negative experience, and I mean, all hats off to Steve and the rest of the team for really getting in touch with him and obviously giving him the tools to get back into it and the confidence mainly.
Yeah, much respect there. Honestly, it's the it's those values that I hold dear as well, and it's great to see people out there doing things like that and encouraging people into the hobby, because the hobby only survives, doesn't it, while people are enjoying it and still taking part and doing it. If everyone's discouraged from doing it, there is no hobby for anyone, really. So it's kind of in every hobbyist's best interest to make sure their opponent has the best game possible, so the community stays around, I guess.
Well, that's what we're all here for, right? Is we all love the game, we all want to enjoy it. No one's here to make other people feel bad, and if it happens, then it sucks, and that's not what we want.
No, exactly. But well pointed out there, Gareth. Little side thing. It was a good thing to mention there, and definitely worthy of mention for sure. This may be an obvious one for some. This may be an obvious one for some. How many armies do you own, and which is your favourite?
Right, I'll go through how many I own. Because I've only just started getting into AOS, as you know, Daz. So I've got Seraphon for them. Nice. Obviously I've got my Blood Angels. That's an obvious one. But I do actually have Drakari. I've got some World Eaters. I've actually got some Star Wars Legion. So I do actually have a 501st collection, which I'm building up.
Top, yeah.
And even some Marvel Crisis Protocol, which I've just bought models that I just really love the look of and wanted to paint as my in-between. But yeah, obviously the big one for me is Blood Angels. It's my favourite army, favourite faction. I absolutely love everything to do with Blood Angels. So
nice.
I've got about 5k worth of Blood Angels now.
You got more than enough.
Yeah, more than enough.
That's without the Heresy Blood Angels.
Yeah,
I'm actually selling them, but yeah.
He's selling them to redo them, Daz, before you start.
Oh,
exactly.
It's one of those, is it? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We excluded at Beachhead. So, what has been your favourite thing to paint so far? And is there anything you'd really like to paint in the future?
I've actually got quite a few things that I've loved painting. The obvious one is Dante. I absolutely love that model. That was it's my favorite model in my collection. And as soon as I seen it came out, I was over the moon with the new model because I've been using the old tiddly little one. If you remember how small he was, for like over 2-3 years with him, and it was that was horrifying. But when I got the new one, he was such a joy to paint. And I'm not a person that really loves to paint because I'm a perfectionist. I really like things to be really good, and then I started to get into that trap of going, there's a mistake here, and things like that. So it was, I actually enjoyed painting Dante on the whole. I think the one I'd like to, and this is gonna be a surprise, is Glorfindel from the Lord of the Rings models.
Really?
The Forge World one. When I seen that model come out, that was such a nice model, right? But it's always sold out.
Right.
Every time I try and buy it, it's sold out. But yeah, I really want to get a Glorfindel because it's such a good model.
Oh, fair enough. So yeah, wouldn't have guessed that.
No, exactly.
I might have guessed the Dante one, but I mean,
yeah. I think everyone would have known that one. But I think there's a lot of models like out there that are nice to paint because the sculpts are just getting so nice now. Like the Seraphon range, all the new Seraphon models. Oh my, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into like Seraphon is because the models are beautiful.
They are. Yeah.
Like the Croxagore, they're so good.
Yeah.
Such nice models. So yeah, there's loads I could name, mate.
For sure. But as we've mentioned, like, you know, with Vanguard Tactics and things like that, how, you know, it's a great thing for people getting into the hobby, new players coming in, things like that. Is there any advice that you would give to anyone that's just getting into the hobby?
It would depend on what they want to get out of the hobby, right? I think if they're looking for something to get into it, to enjoy it and have fun, I would suggest looking at the lore of things, because I find Warhammer has one of the best lores out there, out of any sci-fi fantasy lore-driven thing, right? It's so deep and rich that there's going to be something there for everyone. And I think once you can find that attachment to something, you can really get your head into like the game, the painting and stuff. That's how I've found with it anyway, is why I love Blood Angel so much, is because of the lore.
Yeah.
So now when I'm like playing the game, even competitively and stuff, I don't care if a model's rubbish. Like, I'm playing it because I enjoy it and I love that model, and I've loved painting it because I love that character. And I think once you get that drive to really interact with something because you love it, you definitely get that foothold in it then.
Before we move on, I am going to bring up one thing from the chat. Chuck Paints Minis has said Jord Findel.
Jord Findel. That's it, right. I'm getting it. I have to get it just for that.
LPP agrees. So the next question it's very much a case of, we're going to caveat it before we start, it's what's your favorite color and brand of paint? And they don't necessarily have to be a color from that brand of paint or that paint range.
Cool. My favorite paint has actually been Black Legion Contrast.
Okay.
I think for me it's been the best paint for me that can literally do everything so quick. Like, genuinely, I can put Black Legion on anything and it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Whereas some paints, they take multiple coats and it takes like a while for it to actually get going. I love Black Legion. Like, it's just such a good paint. In terms of actual like brands, I've always been using Citadel. I've never really strayed away. I'm not a professional painter or tried any other brands really. Right. But the ones I have tried, I really like Monument Paints or Acryl Pro, I think they are. There's been a couple of them that I've used and they've actually been really good. So I think they've probably been the ones that I would steer away to rather than Citadel. Citadel's my main one. One.
That's fair for sure. Just checking on chat. Anyone in YouTube? That's why I keep looking over Twitch chat. Okay, we're live on Twitch. So yeah. So now we have mentioned, we know you enjoy a 40k tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Too. What advice would you give to someone considering attending their first tournament or event?
Just genuinely go with no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go in and expect to lose or win or anything. Just go as if you were going to play a game against a friend. You're going to play 3, maybe 5 games of 40k, AOS, whatever. And they're all one-to-one interactions. You're not playing with anyone else in the event. It's genuinely, you're there to spend 3 hours with another person across the table. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. You're just setting yourself up for disappointment if you go into events and start going, I want this goal and X, Y, Z, right? Mm-hmm. Just go to enjoy it and learn, and meet new people.
Yeah,
that's the best thing from events that I've found, from doing events for about 1.5 years now, is the amount of people that I've met from events. And like going back to Beachhead this year, there's been about 4 or 5 people I met last year that I've come back now and seen a year later, and we've been, hi, how you doing? You meet so many people through these events, and you create friendships with people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best thing from it. So just go in and with no expectations and just try to enjoy your games. And also don't go into the games and feel like you have to be there.
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying that game, you have no obligation to stay there. Mm-hmm. Like it's a case of like, I think people get to a point in a tournament where they've lost 3 or 4 and they're really not enjoying the game and they feel they have to stay. I think sometimes you don't have to. It's not a case of you're doing it against anything negative against the person you're playing against or anything like that. You're doing it for yourself. And I think sometimes it's best just to go in and enjoy it, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Turn up, have fun.
Exactly. Turn up and have fun. That's the main thing.
So on that note, what is your favourite thing about the hobby?
The lore. That was a
very quick answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love the lore, especially of 40k. I think that's what's drawn me into the game so much, is reading about the characters, reading about the stories, the history, like Horus Heresy, all of that sort of stuff. It's really brought me into the game so much more that when I'm playing, like we mentioned it already, but like Dante, I will play a game with Dante and literally when he does something epic in the game, I get even more hyped about it because I'm like, yes, like Dante's done something that I know he probably would have done in the stories, or he's done this before and stuff like that. Like it just really immerses yourself into the game.
Yeah.
And I know so much lore for 40k that it's genuinely my favorite thing about it. And obviously the community. The obvious answer is the community. I've met some of my best friends through Warhammer. It's saved my life. Warhammer has. It's been it's helped me with mental health. That just having that community there has been best thing about it.
Yeah. There we go. I was waiting for that to come up. My hope was that every guest we have on mentions community as the favorite thing, because then it means the hobby is winning. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's like a lot of people don't want to say it because they feel it's a cop out answer or an easy answer. But if it's the right answer, it's the right answer, and I kind of hope it is. I hope that is the answer.
Yep.
It's not a cop out at all. It's just
I think it genuinely is. I mean, lore is my favorite thing about the hobby, but the community itself is what keeps you going with the hobby, and the people you engage with, like meeting new people, and you wouldn't get that in any other hobby. I don't feel you don't get the same sort of fulfillment from any other hobby in the world.
No. It's a special one. It's a special one for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So sort of moving on from the community side of things, then still on roughly in the same area for this question, but do you have a hobby hero apart from Dasma Wargaming?
I was going to say Gareth as well.
Or anyone that inspires you.
Look, this is going to sound really cop answer. Maybe I don't know.
It's
but
fine as long as you don't say yourself. That's kind of a bit.
no. It's Stephen.
Stephen.
Box. That man has. He saved my life, like Stephen has. He like when I first met Steve, was at an event, and I was in a really bad place mentally. I mean, I've been going through mental health struggles for like 3 years now. Steve's given me an opportunity that not many people get. He's took me under his wing. He's given me a job working at Vanguard Tactics, and he's constantly pushing me to be better. He genuinely, his personality on camera and who he is genuinely who Stephen Box is. Like in person, he is the exact same in person as he is on camera. He's not someone that's like has that fake persona on camera or trying to be nice. When he genuinely is, he will do anything for you. Mm-hmm. And his kindness and everything about him is genuinely, there's no end to it. He's genuinely a community hero is probably the best way of saying it. And I'm not saying that because he's my boss. I'm saying that because it's genuinely true. He genuinely is an amazing.
No, Jord.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right.
So, what are your aspirations for the future, and what can people expect to see from you and Vanguard Tactics moving forwards?
Well, we've actually got the academy coming up. It's enrolling at the minute, so we have another batch of academy recruits. Gareth, as I mentioned, you're on there for the next season. So the next thing you can really expect is us moving forward with the academy, trying to improve it from the previous iteration. But on the whole, it's going to be the same goals. We're still out here trying to keep people playing 40k, still trying to make people enjoy the hobby, find the best avenues from it, rather than looking at the negatives that you can tend to see on social media and my army sucks, or this is rubbish, or whatever. Like we're still going to be advocates for enjoying the game, using the models you like, and fair play, sportsmanship. You know, all these things that we try to embody is going to be the way that we move forward, and that's never going to change. It's who we are, and it's what we all strive to be like, right? And from myself, it's just trying to. I think my personal goal, it might be a selfish one, but I want to be the best Blood Angels player in the world. That's my goal this year. I came sixth last year, so I think I can do it this year. I've got more time to do it this year, so that's the goal.
Yeah,
go for it.
That's the goal.
The other one off the back of that I think people would be interested in is obviously VT have recently done an old world battle report with Chloe, Lady Kane.
Yep.
Are we going to see more old world content from VT? I know there's the focus on things like the academy, all the masterclass stuff, and things that support 40k.
Yeah, we obviously are always going to focus on 40k. It's our flagship game system, but Old World is something that many of the team members absolutely love, and it's a nostalgic feel for the team. And I think we definitely are in the next month or so going to be releasing another one. I hope it's just a case of when we can get the time to record a battle report and edit them. Because they take a while to edit a battle report. It's a big process to get done. But so definitely we'll see more of that. And I think in the future we are looking at doing Age of Sigmar. It's something that we want to be doing, and it's definitely something that will be on the channel. But it's trying to get the time to do that. But with 40k coming thick and like fast and thick, like straight, it's difficult to find the time, because we have a fairly big team, but not big enough that we have enough to keep doing all these different flagship things. We might even look at doing like a course for the Old World eventually as well. So there's different things like that we could see in the future potentially.
Yeah.
There you go, Daz. Get your Tomb Kings painted up, mate.
Exactly. Well, no, I just got to rebase my Chaos Dwarfs is what's happening first.
Nice.
But
You could do that as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're already painted, so it's just rebase. So we have one more question for this behind the Behind the Brush thing, and it's coming from a keen viewer that asks, "What is your favourite game system and why is it AOS?" That's been sent in by Dante Paints.
Oh,
that guy. I've heard of him. I've heard of him.
Daz made that up himself.
No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. No. No, that's just a joke question at the end. Everyone.
To be honest, right, I played AOS a couple of times now, and there's your event at the end, the start of March, Daz, which I'm really excited for. But I think it's a very different game system for 40k.
Oh yeah.
And I've enjoyed it. I think once I can start to understand the nuances and stuff, like the different tactical things you can do in the game, I'll start to enjoy it more.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love some of the concepts of Age of Sigmar. It's been a very fun journey so far. But 40k, by far and away, is obviously my favorite game system.
Of course, we
Horus
know
Heresy.
it.
Horus Heresy. That's an interesting game system. I have enjoyed Heresy in the past. I do love a bit of Horus Heresy as well.
Oh, nice one. So yeah, as I say, that brings us to the end of the Behind the Brush segments. This is the recorded part for YouTube. We're actually live on Twitch for anyone watching this in YouTube land. So generally, after we do it, we're going to carry on doing some hobby chatter, hang out with the Twitch chat, all that jazz. So if you want to be a part of that in future videos, then do consider heading over to Twitch and giving us a follow, or better yet, a subscription over there. It really does help, and you'll get notified when we do these live. So yeah, I just want to say once again, thank you very much, Jordan, for coming on and being a guest on Behind the Brush.
No, thank you for having me, mate.
No
Honestly,
worries,
it's been a pleasure.
No worries. And thank you to my co-host, Mr. Dante Paints. There you go.
You're welcome.
There we go. Right, so until next time, everyone, stay safe and happy hobby. Bye-bye.